FOJ 28 coming in hot. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Happy Easter, man.
Happy Easter. Did you do anything today?
We went to Jeremy's girlfriend's parents' house for lunch. That was nice.
Hmm?
Her grandparents were also there, who I've met in the past. So that was good. And then came home and did a whole lot of nothing. How about
That's
you?
great. That's yeah. Actually did a little bit of work in the morning and then went out for a long drive in the Polestar. We had a
Oh,
we had an error-free day so far today, which was
excellent.
fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah. This is after. Did we ever cover the aftermath of the Polestar? I think we talked about it, right? Maybe it was when we were
We
together
talked
in.
about we talked about how what is it? They picked it up, got
Did I mention the
nothing.
scratch?
Yes. Or
Okay.
no, or
Yeah.
I think you told me off air about the scratch
Okay.
or
Yeah.
camera or whatever.
So for those wondering, I got the Polestar back. Of course, it got delivered there, and the dealer is like, "Yeah, there's no problems. They couldn't find anything wrong with it." So like, okay, whatever. Another day to add to the lemon law. I'm at 14 or 15 now, just waiting to hit 20.
Uh,
Um, but it gets delivered, and I immediately notice a scratch on the side of like the B pillar, and there's like a black plastic trim. It's like, oh, what the fuck? So the poor guy who delivers it, like he had a very difficult time driving it off of his car ramp. It took
Now,
probably
why
half an
is
hour.
that?
I don't know, because it took him half an hour to go backwards and stay on the ramp. So it wasn't loaded straight on either. It was like kind of at an angle. And so I think he had trouble, aligning it to go straight out. And I was trying to help the poor guy. But I mean, literally, as soon as he got the trailer down, put the ramps in place, half an hour for him to back up what would amount to been 20 feet off the trailer.
Okay, so wait a minute. So
So
is there
I don't think
any
he scratched it.
okay, is there any difference between driving a Polestar or a high level electric vehicle, luxury vehicle? Is there any difference in the actual operation of the car versus say my 2023 Kia Rio that, is just a normal car? Is there any difference
Yes,
at all?
there is.
Okay.
So it's electric. And
Mhm.
typically, what I will drive is what's referred to as one pedal mode. Think of like a go kart. You do not have to hit the brake. The car will automatically slow down, and that's how it recaptures energy. That's how you get range off of the battery.
Okay.
So anytime you're not accelerating, you are decelerating. There is no coast, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Or idle, right? If you let your foot off the brake and idle, the car will slowly creep forward. There's no creep.
So it's gas to brake, no
Gas
matter
to
what
brake.
you're
Now
doing.
you can turn on simulated creep, right, and all that things where you can kind of idle
Uh-huh.
forward or whatever. But I have it generally off. I also had it in performance mode, which means the accelerator is very touchy. And so I
Okay.
was trying to help the guy. I was like, all right, take it out of performance mode and blah blah blah. But other than really understanding the sensitivity of an EV acceleration pedal,
Mhm.
that's pretty much the only difference. It drives like any other
S
car. It's just faster and
okay,
quicker.
so yeah, he doesn't need any. I know it sounds stupid, but he doesn't need, like, special
No,
qualification or special training to handle the Pulsar on a tow truck.
no, I mean, it drives up, it's on a
Okay,
flatbed. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing
got
is
it.
you typically don't tow it right, off its wheels. It's gotta be up on a flatbed or something, on a
Sure.
trailer, but no, I mean, it's really not. I mean, it's not that difficult. It's still a car. It still has a steering wheel. It still goes forward and back.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, this poor guy, it was because it was just off center, just a little bit, and every time he'd back up, one of the tires would start to
Mhm.
hang off. I'm like, "You're getting kinda close, buddy." And the last thing I need is this poor guy dumping over my vehicle, right, and
Oh
crashing it as he's
god.
trying to deliver. But he got it off. Now, I don't think he scratched it because it was like on an open carrier, and it looks like it was tree scratches or something like that. I think it was the guy who picked it up, to be honest with you. Because
Okay.
as I went out for a drive, I found like crushed leaves in the armrest. There's like a little divot where like the door handle is, and I found crushed leaves in there. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, they had the window open, and the guy was like doing something, and clearly,
Yeah.
you know, branches were up against this car because
Gotcha.
there's
Okay.
dead leaves in the middle, or in the driver's side. So like whatever. So they got that, and got claims open, whatever. So but today, other than a scratch side, which first world problem, I'm not going to worry about it. It's whatever. No errors. I went for probably a 2-hour drive, country roads. So I was slinging that thing around, the mountains here. It was good times. Had the 25 speakers cranked up, listen to some Ghost as I'm tearing through corners on the highways or on the country
Excellent.
roads here. So yeah, it was good times.
Okay, so how all right, so now we can actually talk about the performance level of this car.
Mhm.
How fast did you get it up to, and how fast will it go?
Oh, I only got it up to 80 or so.
Okay.
I wasn't going that fast.
Uh-huh.
Um, 80, and it was on the highway, so not a big deal. Everyone drives 80.
And I'm guessing there's probably really no difference in feel from 20 to 80. It's probably just
I mean,
smooth
it's a blink
as
of an eye, and you go. Yeah,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no.
It's like a rocket
It's
ship, sure.
Yeah, there's no gears really, right? So you don't feel the gears shifting as you go
Right.
up to higher speeds. You still get that gut kind of G-force pull, when you accelerate, especially if you do it quickly off a
Sure.
stand still. It's just fun as hell to drive, man. And it's like, I mean, the car that it's meant to do battle with the most is the Porsche. What's the Porsche SUV? Is that the
Oh,
Macan?
what is it? The Cayenne, I think
Oh,
is what it's
Cayenne.
called,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
not
Cayenne.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is meant to be toe for toe with a Porsche Cayenne.
Okay.
Now, I've never driven a Porsche Cayenne, but this car is a hell of a lot of fun to drive. Like that's the one thing. It's like the software sucks and is so unstable, but the vehicle itself drives like a dream. So it's fun.
So do
I mean,
you
it's
think
quick. I mean, yeah,
uh-huh. Do you think the software will get there?
it
Do
has
you
to.
ultimately
Yeah, it's
yeah.
better than already
Okay.
when I first took it. I mean, it has
Okay.
CarPlay now, which it didn't have before, and they continue added features. But I just wish they would work on the basics, like
Sure.
no errors, no phantom errors, which I'm
Mhm.
convinced almost every single problem I had has been a false error. Like it would say,
Okay.
"Oh, whatever, critical suspension fault, do not drive the vehicle." I you take it to the dealer and like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with the car." The software is telling you one thing, but the physical components are telling you another, right, from via the dealer and the service, stuff like that. So yeah,
That's
I
so
mean, it has
weird.
to get better. The problem is it can't get better fast enough because these are bugs and errors that should not be there
Uh-huh.
to this degree, you know, for a vehicle that's been on the market around the world for at least a year now and, hit the US market back in November or whatever it was.
When did you get it?
I got it in November. I had one
November.
of the
Okay.
first in the US just by luck. I didn't pre-order it, nothing, and just
Uh-huh.
showed up and they had some. I was like, yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Sign
S-
me up.
so your drop dead date for the lemon law is sometime in November, correct?
November, 20 days in November.
Okay.
By November, I should say.
So
It's gonna be
and you've
close.
got what, 5 or 6 days
Yeah, something like
of
that.
non yeah.
Now,
Okay.
I would
And
be
we're in
happy. I would be really happy if I never had another error and never had to do another service because I love the vehicle. It's a really nice vehicle to but it's very difficult to love, if that makes sense.
does make sense. Sounds like a see if I can liken this like to a really attractive female with a really bad attitude. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah,
how
for
I
sure.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you might be able to overlook some things, but at some point, that is
Yeah,
not a sustainable
yeah,
relationship.
exactly.
I feel the same way. Like I said, it's a really nice vehicle. It is absolutely, a rocket ship of vehicle. The software sucks. The good news is software can be patched and can be updated. And I hope that they kind of continue with this it seems like every 6 weeks or so, they're putting out a software update. So I should be due here for another one, in about, let's call it 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, hopefully they're catching up
Uh,
because I can tell how much you really want this car to work out.
Hey, it charges now, which is the problem I had before, and they think they've solved that for a lot of people. Because I wasn't the only
Okay.
person. Like, there's a lot of people who have trouble with this car. And there's a lot of people who have no trouble with the car, which is really what makes it so frustrating. Is you can have a 100%. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there's occasional software issues, but nowhere near the level of issues I've had. And there's people who have had nothing but issues and have had lemon laws and returns already on it. So it's such a
Maybe
bipolar vehicle.
I wonder if you're the unintended guinea pig for this thing
Oh
or
well, see,
one
this is the
of.
thing. Because should a consumer be beta testing or pilot testing or testing vehicles?
Yes.
I
Yes,
would say no.
exactly.
You should not be.
I I
Not
would
at
I would agree with you. When I say
and not for
yes,
safety
yes, that's
things
what's
like that.
happening.
Like if you're
Yeah, that's
driving
what's
around and you
happening.
say like it gets like, a bunch of errors on the screen, that takes your focus off the road. Now you're a distracted driver big time.
Yeah, right.
And so that's a safety issue.
Yeah,
especially when
because
it
all you're
tells you to
thinking
pull
about is
over and call service immediately. Like, okay, what the fuck am I
yeah,
supposed
all
to
you're
do?
thinking about is, "Okay, when is something gonna happen here? I'm
Right,
just
yeah,
waiting for
exactly.
it."
Yeah, I'm just looking for a chunk, right? A wheel goes flying off,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know,
exactly.
something.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I should not be beta testing a vehicle. I understand minor software bugs. I work in technology. It's going to happen. This
Mhm.
is unacceptable, like the number of bugs. Now, I was gone all week, came home, so it didn't really get any driving at all between Sunday and Friday. Not actually, no, Saturday when I got home, and so it's it's knock
Maybe
on wood, no issues so far.
I was gonna say, has your wife ever driven it?
Oh yeah, she has. I mean, she'll pull it in and out of like parking spots and stuff like that. But I mean, she's got
Okay.
the Rivian. Why would she? Why would she? She loves the Rivian.
No, I'm sure. I
Yeah,
don't
she's
blame
towing
her.
around dogs and hitting
Yeah,
hitting Home Depot and Lowe's and Costco and going all
yeah.
kinds
No,
of places.
I'm sure
Yeah,
she's the envy of Asheville, toting around in that thing. Because yeah,
I know.
they're awesome.
Yeah,
I think I've told you this. I have ridden in one, and, yeah, I had nothing bad to say about it. It was awesome. Nothing
yeah, it's a
short of
great vehicle.
awesome.
Yeah,
So,
but you can see the
well,
difference between software maturity between legacy
uh-huh.
automakers and the new ones. Like Tesla was the same way. Tesla software is head and shoulders above everybody. I think Rivian is probably second place, and then you've got everybody else still trying to figure out what the heck they're doing.
Yeah, what did I see on the road? Oh, I finally saw, and I've seen them before, but I finally saw the latest. I think it was a Lucid.
Oh yeah, Lucids are great.
Yeah, and
That's
I thought, "Oh,
that's one I would
what
consider
a"
if I get rid of the if I move on from the Polestar, the Lucid Gravity is the one that just came out. It's a little bit
this
more
thing
expensive,
was
but
this thing was clean, jet
hmm
black, windows tinted, just and just the Lucid on the back. I'm like,
yeah,
that is a slick looking car.
and they have
And
great
I was
range.
like,
They have like 400 to 500 miles of range, so they're one of the
that was
highest
something
range.
that
Lucids are
made me
probably
go,
the most
yeah,
technologically advanced EVs
that
in
was
the
a wow.
world
That was a
outside of
wow for
China right
me.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
like they are way more
I
advanced than even
was
like a Tesla or a Rivian.
floored as that thing went flying by me on the highway at about 95, but it's
Yep.
an easy 95. It was like watching the Jetsons, you know what I mean? It was just that thing was just smooth sailing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's definitely a luxury
Yeah.
sedan tour, grand tour type
Yeah.
vehicle. What's cool about that, about the Lucid is it actually has a mode that'll let you charge other EVs, and
Oh, wow.
so you can share your battery as a Lucid with like a Tesla, for example.
Wow,
Now, it
that's
won't charge
wild.
it super fast. It's more for an emergency, right?
Sure.
But just the idea of being able to, this is like a Samsung phone, right? Being able to share your
It's
battery
like
with something else.
yeah, it's like its own portable charger. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
But this is the cool thing about
Um,
EVs is you're gonna have these in your garage, right? Sometime I would expect sometime in the next 15 to 20 years, EVs will be the mass market vehicle. What's
okay.
cool is they're gonna be batteries, which means you've got the potential now to have a whole home battery backup because you can plug your fridge. So if your power goes out or whatever, maybe from the grid,
Mhm.
you've got giant car batteries sitting around that you can plug that stuff into.
S So you think that this is gonna be a standard, instead of buying it from a car dealer, this is gonna be a standard, get it when you build your home?
No, I think it'd still be a vehicle you buy from a
Okay.
dealer. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of people looking for like, generators, right? Especially if you're in areas
Uh-huh.
where you lose power frequently, et cetera. I just got a battery backup for our system. So we have Anchor battery backup now.
Mhm.
But you're going to have these vehicles that have these massive batteries that in the event of a power outage, and especially if it's an extended power outage, for whatever reason, natural
Oh, you're
disaster, whatever,
saying okay,
you can plug
yeah,
your fridge into your car.
okay. Oh, through a, extension cord or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Or you can plug it in. So what I did is I have a smart panel now on my in my garage. I have two Anchor Solix F3800 Plus for those people who care. Two extension batteries on top of that. Both of those are wired together and plug into a breakout breaker box with a smart panel that connects to my existing electrical panel. So if the power goes out, these batteries kick in right away and power the home.
So it's almost like a okay, here
It's battery
to
backup for the
the
house.
in layman's terms, it's the electrical version of a battery backup to your sump pump.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so I have it set up for the house, and it won't run the entire house.
Sure.
Obviously, it's too much load and stuff like that, but it'll
Uh-huh.
put out like 12,000 watts. So
Yeah, like
plenty to
it would
keep
put
things
out enough to
going.
where yeah, like your like you said, your refrigerator, your freezer, or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it'll handle all
stuff
that
that's
stuff.
yeah,
And
because usually when the
I
power goes out, you gotta throw a bunch of stuff out if you're
right,
out for an extended period of time.
exactly. And we
Okay.
we actually lose power quite a bit here in North Carolina, especially in the mountains.
Uh-huh.
They're not typically extended outage like we have in a hurricane. That's obviously, a disaster kind of scenario.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, storm comes, sure, I
Storm
get it.
comes, even just it's windy and something
Mhm.
wind knocks over a power line. Like I would say once a week we'll have a power blip.
Really?
So it's enough. And it's usually in the morning, high winds and stuff like that. It's usually something happens and it blinks and it goes out for maybe like a minute, maybe 5 minutes, or maybe it's like 30 seconds. So
Okay.
now with the house being on battery backup,
Mhm.
essentially that's not like in milliseconds, it kicks over to the new panel. Now, the entire house is not turned back on. It's only the stuff that's on that breakout box, but it's the refrigerators, it's most of the lights, it's my entire office, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like
Sure.
that will kick on. And it's not meant to be a days long running. I
Mhm.
think the battery capacity I've got will run for maybe 3 to 4 hours total of an
Mhm.
outage. But I've got options. I can add more batteries, which are expensive, a couple $1,000 to add in, like another, let's call it another hour of runtime. Um, but definitely cheaper than trying to do like a whole home generator, right? Or something like that.
What what you just recently did this, I assume?
Yeah.
You said?
Just got it installed 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
What prompted you to do this?
Well, we had been looking at power solutions because of the hurricane and having had issues and we didn't have power for like 2 or 3 weeks, didn't have running water
I
for
remember.
almost two
Yeah.
months, right? And so we're kind of thinking about that. We would like to go solar, but we don't want to put something up on the roof, which we know is getting kind of towards the end of the life. And so why put up solar when you have pull it down to redo
Mhm.
the roof anyway? So I think when we do the roof, that's probably the avenue where we
Go
go with
solar
solar.
after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the battery, so we looked at a whole home generator, Generac and Briggs and Stratton and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was going to be like 30 grand to get it purchased and installed to have it sized for this house. Now we have a big house and we use a lot of
Mhm.
electricity. So it was going to be like 30 grand to do that. The batteries were literally half the cost. It was 10 grand in hardware and about 11 grand in hardware and about 3 grand in electrician work to get everything
Mhm.
wired and pulled apart.
How long it take 'em to
And
do it?
about a day. It was like maybe
Okay.
6 hours, so it was kind of like an all day thing. Showed up, got things wired up, went breaker by breaker
Mhm.
with him to say, okay, here's the ones we want on, here's the ones we don't want on, and then kind of get it all set up, and then plug the batteries in, and it was like, all right, I guess that's it. So it
Wow.
was kind of cool. Yeah, and what's cool about this system that I got is now I have batteries. So if I want to do solar, I still can. And now I've got a way
Mhm.
to store that solar energy and start to think about going grid. Because if I do solar down the road, you can either just have it on, and when it's on, you're powering it, or you can save up some of that solar energy and store it in a battery, which are really expensive as well.
I was gonna say, does it have a certain amount of does it have a maximum storage where you store you just
Yeah.
can't put it anywhere else and
Yeah, I want to say these are like 4,000 milliamp hour batteries, and I have like four of them, so like 16,000 hours.
and that
Basically,
would last you how long?
right now it lasts about 4 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours, depending
Okay.
on whatever the house is doing at the time. If you're really
Uh-huh.
efficient with the house, like you don't turn anything on, it'll last for hours and hours, right?
Gotcha.
But things like refrigerators will kick on, and some people
Yeah.
turn the microwave on, or whatever maybe, stuff like that. Computer stuff takes a lot of juice in my office,
Right.
but
So if
I
you
have the
went down to
batteries. Yeah.
yeah. So if you went down to the bare minimum of what you needed to survive in the house, you could probably last what,
Oh,
a
for a long
day,
time.
2 days? Yeah.
Oh, easy. Yeah, I think so easily because what's neat about this system that I got is you can actually hook it up to solar panels, which I got some for free that kind of came with the package. So I have like these portable
Uh-huh.
solar panels that I could absolutely lay out on my driveway and the cables and connect them to the batteries, and it will slowly charge them up. So it won't be fast like a grid, charging it like plugging it
Mhm.
directly in a wall, but in a pinch, right now I've got a way to get some energy into the batteries. I can also get a gas generator and plug that into the battery and charge it that way and run things. So it's a really flexible system where I can say, okay, no matter kind of where I'm at right now, I have the option to go fixed solar. It's on the roof and
Uh-huh.
it's not going anywhere. Portable solar, or even a portable gas generator, and any of those options. And also, like, it's right now, it's plugged into the grid, plugged into the wall socket. It's
Sure.
also getting charged from the grid. So I have any of those options to get the batteries topped off at any point.
It's all way above my head, man, but, I will tell you it sounds great, and I hope that, hopefully, you'll never need this in an emergency, but sounds like,
Well, that's the
you'll
thing, is it's already come out a couple times, and like you don't even know. Like, it
yeah,
flips
sounds
over
like where
so
you
quickly.
live. Yeah, sounds like where you live, it's kinda nice to have, so,
Well, no,
it's,
because like the clocks get reset. Like the ring,
yeah.
the kitchen range and like the microwave and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And the other day we are sitting there having dinner and heard kind of like a click. I was like, wait, like power's still on. I was like, oh shit, the batteries are working because
Yeah.
half the stuff in the kitchen was working. The range was off, but that's because we did not want the range
You didn't
on.
set that, yeah,
Exactly. But everything
I
else stayed
gotcha.
on. We noticed no flicker, like nothing. It was just like, oh, batteries are on. And then at some point, the power came back on and there was like no interruption at all.
Sounds
Kind
like,
of really,
sounds
but I mean, it's great for me because I'm nerdy about this. And it's like, battery's kind of cool. And, it's technology.
yeah.
There's an app, of course, I can see all this stuff, but there's no maintenance. Like, I don't have to do like any kind of like gas generator or whole home generator. You got to
Yeah.
like change the oil on that or any of that stuff. Like, no, this is just batteries. They run. I'm not looking to solve for days on end. I just need bridges to cover 5 minutes, 10
Yeah.
minutes, a couple hours, right? If it's something more than that, we'll deal with that down the road.
You're not looking to fire up the Batcave or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I'm not going off grid or anything like that.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
yet. I know
Right.
you might be leaning that way these days, but I get it.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
well, I know the Polestar, getting back to the Polestar has been a challenge, but I sure appreciate you taking us on that journey, man, 'cause, it's kinda,
Well,
at times,
don't
a
buy a
bit
Polestar. Let's
polarizing.
just put it that way. Don't buy it. I will not recommend it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it gets better. I think it will. I mean, it kind of has to. But for my public service announcement is, yeah, don't look at Polestars. There are lots of other great vehicles out there, um,
Cool.
and plenty of choices. So yeah,
We're not gonna
it
alright,
doesn't
so
get my does not get my recommendation yet.
we're not ready to endorse the Polestar just yet,
Nope, not at all.
but the Rivian, 10 out of
Rivian's great.
10.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Rivian's fantastic.
Alright. Awesome.
All right. Well, that's motorsports weekly here on the FOJ show. Why don't we
Yes,
talk?
yes,
Let's shift gears here on our Sports Center coverage. We got the draft coming up in a couple days here.
Draft, I believe, is what, Thursday? I think it starts Thursday and goes through, Friday and Saturday
NFL
in the
draft.
armpit of
Here we go.
yes, in the armpit of the world known as Green Bay, Wisconsin, I believe is where it's at this year, so,
Hmm.
for all you Packer fans out there, yes, I did call it the armpit of the world because that's what I
Yeah.
think of Green Bay.
Fuck the Packers. That's what I say.
Pretty much is what I'm saying. Pretty much. Yeah, even in the post Aaron Rodgers era, I agree
Yeah.
with
No.
you 100%.
Yeah.
So
You can't. It's just not allowed as a Bears fan. So
so
what are we gonna do?
I
I
went
mean, is Ashton Genty
well,
the guy? Is it Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks?
I looked at 8 mock drafts today from various sources. CBS Sports, The Ringer, NFL.com, ESPN, Yahoo, USA Today, the New York Times, and Pro Football Focus. And of those 8 mock drafts, the Bears are picking 7 different guys at number 10, which I
All right.
found
So there's
interesting.
7. Which 7?
Okay, so they list Kelvin Banks, who's an offensive tackle. They list here, let me get my thing here. Shamar Stewart, who's an edge rusher from Texas A&M, and Jeff Cruz. I'm sorry, but I've never heard of this dude, so I really hope they don't pick him. Will Campbell, we've talked about
Hmm.
him, tackle from LSU. The new name that has kind of surfaced in Chicago is the name Colston Loveland. And he's actually on this. He's the one guy who's on this list twice.
Hmm.
He's a tight end from Michigan. So he is looked at as the best available at number 10 when the Bears pick by ESPN, and Yahoo Sports also has the Bears picking him at number 10.
Okay.
There is Jade Barron, who's a corner from Texas. I don't see them taking a corner at number 10. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous, but Tyler Warren, tight end Penn State, and the aforementioned Ashton Genty from Boise State. That's from Pro Football Focus. So we've got 7 different names, multiple positions. Yeah, I would have told you before free agency that offensive line was a slam dunk at number 10. They had to have it. However way they did it, whether they traded up, traded down, whatever, offensive line was their top priority. ESPN does not even list offensive line as a top 5 need for them anymore.
Hmm.
If you can believe that. They list
Well,
defensive
NFL.com
tackle.
still has offensive line as a team need.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. ESPN
I don't
lists
think you'd ever have
defensive
enough offensive
tackle.
linemen.
I don't either. Running back, wide receiver, corner, and edge rusher as their top 5 needs.
So NFL has
I-
offensive line, edge, running back, safety, and tight end.
Okay, I think the list you just said is probably more. I would agree with that list more than the one I read.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I'm not going to be upset if they take offensive line or edge at that high level, right? I mean, I don't think you can have enough of those guys. I'm still not sold on a running back as a first round. I am definitely not sold on a tight end as a first pick at 10. I feel like you can get anybody to be a tight end.
yeah, I mean, I know that Ben Johnson loves his tight ends. I mean, he had, a lot of success with his Laporta up in Detroit. I forget their other tight end's name, but I think he factored in their offense as well. And the thought of Cole Kmet and either this, I don't know anything about this Colston Loveland guy. I know Tyler Warren is a stud from Penn State. The thought of that in their offense would be awesome, but I think you got to go either one of the two lines, right?
I mean, that's what I would do.
Offensive line, defensive line.
Yeah.
I think they upgraded with both on in free agency, but I think you got to keep stacking that group.
hmm Yeah. Some of the guys are getting a little bit older. You need depth for injuries.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, I would like to see the best available offensive line or edge or a defensive line, not just edge, but I'd love to see that. But if there is a drop off where it's like this guy is not worth, the was it pick number 10? Um,
Mhm.
I'm okay with drafting the best available player at that spot, but I would much rather see, hopefully, Kelvin Banks or Will Campbell or some other defensive lineman, come along and really set the world on fire. I'm not going to be disappointed if they get Ashton Genty. I know he's probably going to be a solid player. I just think running back is pretty commoditized at this point. I think tight ends could be kind of commoditized too. Um,
Mhm.
I definitely don't see like a top 10 safety or corner or something like that being up there,
No, not in
or even
this
a
draft.
linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think arguably, okay, so of the 5 offensive linemen they have, the one that's probably the least dependable or the least lowest on the totem pole talent wise is arguably the most important one that they have to have, and that's their left tackle Braxton Jones.
hmm
I think Darnell Wright is an up and coming star as a right tackle. I don't think they would move him to left. I think they're just going to leave him as their right tackle, hopefully for the next, 8 to 10 years. They picked up the 2 guards. They signed the center, so they're set there. Braxton Jones remains the question mark. He's coming back from an injury. Um, when he's in there, he's good, but can they do better?
Yeah.
And
I
that's, I
think they
think, the big
can.
question.
I think they get younger, cheaper. I mean, I think there's plenty of options. And hey, it'd be a great position to be in if Braxton Jones and the offensive line is a stud. Now you've got an extra player. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
if you think you're good, right? People are always looking for offensive linemen.
yeah. Or hey, say they draft Banks or they draft Campbell if they're either one of them are there. Then if they're that good, then Jones becomes your swing guy. Like say if
Yeah.
him or um
You make him a tight end. And then now you've got six
yeah.
offensive linemen out there.
Him or Darnell Wright get hurt, or they also have. I guess their new coach really likes Amagage for a guy who struggled last year but didn't get one snap in training camp because he was hurt.
Yeah.
So,
That's tough. He got
you
put in
know,
a tough position, so
he
let's see
totally
what he
did.
does with actual
Totally did.
training camp. And I mean, the offensive line was a mess last year. I don't think you can give anybody a passing grade.
No, no, I don't think you can either.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the Bears are in a great spot with number 10, and they also have 39 and 41.
Hey, off-season champs. That's what I'm going to call them. I think they're the
what
most improved
what
team on
what do we
paper.
say 2 years in a row? Off they win the offseason 2 years in a row?
Yeah, exactly. Um, Look, I mean, this is why I play the game, though. So let's see if we can get a lineman of some sort and go from there. Do you think they trade back or trade up? I don't see them trading up, but do you think
I
they
don't
might
see him
trade
trading
back?
up. I think trading back is a possibility depending on how the top 10
Hmm.
or the 9 picks before them go. I mean, you could see just by what I told you, there's a lot of guys that are either going to be available. I mean, there's no slam dunks outside of I think Cam Ward going to Tennessee with the number 1. I think
You
after
think that's
that,
foregone conclusion over Travis Hunter?
I th- I I think it is. I think they need a quarterback. I don't think Will Levis is their answer, and I don't think Travis Hunter uh, helps them as much as Cam Ward does potentially.
Hmm. Do you think Cam
Plus,
Ward
are
is
we?
a generational talent? I mean, would you be willing to sacrifice the number one pick to go with somebody that's maybe like a Travis Hunter, right? Not a quarterback, but is probably, I guess the odds are that he's probably going to have a better career. And you punt and you hope
Mhm.
that, Levis does well, or if they don't, then they've got another crack at quarterback next year.
Uh,
Like, how much of a rebuilding are you into at this point? Like, if you're just a team that's willing to take, okay, well, they're the best quarterback on the board, let's get them. Like, I don't feel like the quarterback class this year is particularly strong.
no, it's not near the quarterback class was last year. No way,
Hmm.
it's not even close. Um, but Travis Hunter, I mean, he can't even decide where he's going to play. We
He
talked about
wants to play
last week how
both.
he said
Yeah,
wants to play both.
or he's not going to play at
Do
all.
you really? Do you want to deal with that? Do you want to deal with the repercussions of that and having to potentially draft a problem?
I think it depends on the coaching. Is this posturing? Is it a situation where say, oh, don't maybe you don't want to get drafted that high because you're going to
Yeah,
go to a
yeah.
shitty team, right? And so, maybe you kind of juice the wheels a little bit to maybe fall a little bit. I don't think that's what's happening. I think it's probably more ego, but
Yeah, I think it's more ego too. I mean, the
yeah.
guy's money's
But if the
not the
guy's a good
problem.
corner and he's a good wide receiver, and he could technically be both. I don't think he's going to be a 50-50 split. I think if anything, it's going to be more like an 80-20, maybe 90-10 split. At least for the first couple of years till he gets comfortable in his primary role. I mean, they tried this with
Right.
Devin Hester, remember?
They tried it with Devin Hester. I mean, the
Deion
only
Sanders.
what Deion Sanders did it. I know Charles Woodson did a little bit
Mhm.
of it. Um, I mean,
So
yeah,
it's
I
not
mean, there've been
unprecedented.
guys. No, it's not. Full time, it's totally unprecedented,
I mean,
which
yeah.
is what he did in college. But in the pros, I can't even come up with a guy either off the top of my head or probably from way back when. Maybe some guy played both ways on the lines, but I can't think of a guy who played two skill positions full time, 100% in pro football.
Yeah, that's asking a lot of any player, especially right, this isn't college, right? You're going up against pros.
Right.
Everybody is a top draft pick. They're the best of the best theoretically. Um, Man, I mean, I'd love to see it though. I mean, how great would that be?
Oh, dude, it would be awesome. And I
Yeah.
mean, talk about a marketing uh gift, a guy who could do everything. I mean, you could build your entire franchise around this guy, whether it's on the field, off the field. I'm the first to do this, first to do that. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I see that. Um, but I think the odds are against him. They're not
I
in
do
his
too.
favor.
No. I do too. I obviously the guy's a freak athlete, but I mean, yeah, doing both is a lot to ask.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the Bears. I think the Bears roster as it stands today is pretty strong. And I think they have the luxury of, and I know they're coming off of, what is it, 4 wins last year. I get it. But I think they did a lot to address their pressing needs in free agency. They made a couple of trades, I think, to put themselves in the position to add, you know, luxury as opposed to add absolute need, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which good moves by the organization, which we would not have been saying a year ago or 6 months ago. I
No,
guess I should say when we thought
no.
this organization was in a total spiral. But
Mhm.
does Ryan Poles get some credit off this for being part of this offseason of potential renewal, or is this above him and this is happening in spite of him? What do you think?
I don't think he should get all the credit, but I do think he should get some of it. I
Mm,
think I think the organization going out and getting the coach that they wanted and doing what it took to get him. And it sounds like this is where Ben Johnson kind of wanted to be anyway, but to go out and make him, what is it, the eighth highest paid head NFL head coach without even coaching a game yet, is a pretty big commitment. And I think when they did that, that said, okay, we're serious about this franchise. We're serious about not winning 4 games a season anymore. We're serious about moving forward. We're going to allow Poles to go make the deals that he did. I'm sure him and Ben Johnson talked about all the trades prior to them happening, but I mean, he's the one who's got to make the phone call. He's the one who's got to sell it to the other guy or the other team that he's trading with to make sure that it's, whether it's a fair deal or not, he's the one who's got to go out and make it happen. And he did,
yeah. Hey, if we're
you
gonna
know,
dish out, criticism, I think we can also give out kudos. And
100%.
so far, so good. Again, off-season champs, 2025.
Hopefully it gets him to I guess what is a realistic expectation? And maybe you can't answer this until after the draft, but if they went into the next season today, what is a real expectation for wins for them?
Hmm. You have to look at their schedule and see. Um, I mean, they start off the regular season against Jacksonville, so theoretically, that's a win, and
Yeah,
that's
I
in
would guess
London.
their schedule based on this year's record. I don't think it's that tough.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I hope it's not.
Outside of their own division, which is tough as hell, but
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the bigger concern for me would be they're in a tough spot. Um,
well, although
yeah,
it may not be as tough as it was last year, only because you have to think the Vikings are going to take a step back.
yeah,
Playing with if they're committed to McCarthy, they're not going 14-3 with JJ McCarthy. Good quarterback and all, but I'm sorry. And O'Connell, as great a coach as he is, they're not going 14-3. Sorry, Matt in Minnesota. They're not, it's not happening. Sorry, Phil. I don't see it happening. Um,
yeah.
will they be
Well, let's see.
good?
Can they
Yeah.
beat the Lions?
That's the other question. Can they beat the Lions with the ex-Lions coach?
Right.
Does he know enough
Now the
to
Lions have
beat
lost
them?
some players, so I'm gonna say I think they split with the Lions. I think they
Okay.
split with the Vikings. I think for
Okay.
whatever reason, and as much as I hate to say it, I think the Packers
Sweep them.
will sweep them, but that's usually
Okay.
when it's gonna be another 50-50. So right there, now we're talking what? 3-3.
Well, yeah, wait, you've
Lions,
got them split.
Packers, Vikings. So we've got 3 wins, 3 losses off those. Actually,
Okay,
no,
so they split with
let's
all
make it
3.
sorry, 2 and 4.
2 and
Yeah, because
4.
I said the
Okay, and
Vikings.
last year they were 1 and 5 because they beat the
Yeah.
Packers the last game of the year.
So they
Um,
play the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're a beatable team.
that's probably
They're
a
playing
win.
the Giants. They're definitely a beatable team.
That better be a win, so that's 2.
Cleveland
So now we're at
Browns,
3.
another one that they should win,
Excuse me.
theoretically.
So we're okay, now we're at 5. So we had 2 divisional wins and we got 3 uh non-division wins. Okay, so now they're 5.
So okay, let's go this way. So they're playing Detroit 1-1, Green Bay 1-3, Vikings 2-4,
Okay.
the Cowboys 3-4,
3 and 4.
the Giants 4-4,
4 and 4.
The Browns 5-4. I think they beat the Browns.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Steelers, I think they beat them too, 6-4.
Okay. Yeah.
And the Saints, who they're not very good either. I think that's 7-4 right there.
Agree.
So that's all their home opponents, and we've already done
Okay.
the divisional ones.
The
So they've
division.
still got the.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles. I think the Eagles smoked them.
No. Yep.
The Commanders, Washington. I think Washington's still a better team. Got more experience at this point playing together too.
Okay.
So
So they're
that'll be two
seven
more
and six
losses.
at this point. So they're
Yeah.
7-6.
Then they play the Ravens,
Seven
which
and seven. Yeah, I
yeah,
think they lose that game.
and then you got Bengals, 49ers, and Raiders. I think they can win. I don't think they sweep them. I think they can beat the Raiders. I don't know about the Bengals, and it depends on the 49ers, which 49ers team shows up.
Okay, so
So
you're saying
500,
they're
another
probably
500 football club.
yeah, they're going to be about either 8-9 or 9-8.
Hmm.
Okay.
Which might be good enough to make the playoffs.
It might. It might. It might. They might sneak in as like a 5 or a 6 in the wild card. Sure.
Hmm. Now,
I think
things could go crazy, and they could drop some games that they're supposed to win. So you could shave off 3, just as a round as a number. So okay,
I was going to
lose
say you
3
could go
or
plus or
gain 3.
you go I was going to say you can go plus or minus 2 or 3 either way.
Yeah,
So you're talking either between 7 and 11 wins, roughly.
roughly.
Yeah, I think it's about right.
Actually, no, I'm going to go 6. 6 to
6
11
wins.
wins. 6 to
6 to
11.
11.
I don't know if they're good enough to be 500 only because the division's so tough.
That's fair.
But the division could absolutely take a nosedive based off of
Yeah, I
the
think the
changes that happen
division
this
kind of
offseason.
comes yeah, I think it comes back to them a little bit. So, um yeah. Cuz yeah, like I said, I don't think the Vikings will be as good. I don't think the Lions will be as good. I think them
It's gonna be
losing
tough.
Ben
Yeah.
Johnson's is a big deal. They lost what, 6, 7 coaches, and they lost some players too, but
Yeah.
God, they lost both coordinators. They lost the receivers coach. They lost
It's the
uh
curse of success. It's hard to keep teams
yeah.
together.
And the sad thing is that they didn't win the Super Bowl.
Right.
So their window of opportunity might be done. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't I wish I knew, but I don't. Will you do any bets on football games like you are doing with the
Okay,
baseball?
so
How we do this week, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
I've been thinking about this. Actually we did okay.
Okay.
The White Sox are still keeping me positive. The Dodgers are on this thing where they seem to win every 2 out of 3, which is about keeps me even to $1 plus for every series, which is fine. But the Sox, they lost, or excuse me, the Sox won today, but going into today, they were 4-16. So they're still keeping me on the plus side, which is good. Because they're losing more than every 2 out of 3, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it's good. I mean, not good for them,
it's going
but
well.
good for you.
No, yeah,
Your passive
I know.
income retirement income strategy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's made me maybe able to afford maybe another 2 hours in my retirement. So
So far.
we're getting there so far.
Yeah.
But as to applying this to football, I think I would bet probably the Giants to lose every game.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think who I would take to win every game they played.
Philly?
I, Philly, maybe Philly, or I hate to say it because they bug me, but they find a way. Kansas City.
Chiefs? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they had 15 wins last year, so
they did. I mean, obviously the odds would be low, but
high
I
risk,
think
high
it's
reward.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, the boys and I do tend to throw some money during the NFL season, and it's fun. I mean, again, we like break out even. Nothing ever really. It's not life changing by any means, but it's something fun. So it'd be a good time. It'd be a good time. And this time, Jeremy will be at home the whole season, so that'll be a good time. So that'll be good.
There you go.
Yeah.
What
Again,
else we
it's not
got?
life changing. It's not life changing, and it doesn't really
Well, if you bet
alter
enough,
anything
it
for
can
me.
be.
It can be. It can be. Well, it can be life changing in a bad way as well. So and very
Did
quickly. So that's why I don't throw any major money at it at all. So
yeah.
that's good.
Well, that's
That's
smart. You don't have a
yeah.
problem, and that's good. Did
No,
you watch the
and
sports war this week from Comedy Central or the Daily Show? They do
no.
it every so often. It's Jordan Klepper and Ronnie Cheng. It's such a good segment.
Okay.
Basically, they're talking sports between the two of them, and the whole point of it is they are legally not allowed to agree with each other, so they have to
Oh.
and then they're always
Yeah,
making
I
fun
think
of
we've talked
bets
about
and
that
stuff like that.
before.
It's such a good segment. Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. So we what is it? A couple weeks ago, I had you guess the Forbes list of top
Yeah.
30.
Top 30 bands, which
Yeah.
or top 30 what rock bands or something like that.
It's top 30 rock. I think it was, yeah, top 30 rock bands in history according to Forbes. And we didn't know what the list was based on or any of that stuff. So I want to see this week, and this is only a top 10, but I want to see this week if you can tell me the top 10 selling artists of all time. And this is just pure dollars over a career. There are 10 of them.
Michael Jackson,
He's number 2.
Presley,
3.
Elvis,
Yep.
the Beatles.
That's number 1.
Beatles number 1. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And let me this is all genres combined. This is everything.
okay. That's gonna make it harder because I don't know. There's shitty music I don't listen to.
There is, but I
um,
think if you think hard enough, you'll get these.
Madonna.
Number 5.
Okay. Which ones have I gotten so far?
You have the Beatles at 1, Michael Jackson at 2, Elvis at 3, and Madonna at number 5.
Rolling Stones.
No.
Okay. Um,
Now I have 3 groups and 3 solo artists left.
okay. So not the
If that helps you.
Stones. Um, Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin is number 6.
Okay. It's a little bit surprising. I was like, I know they're popular. They were like a top 30, but I don't know if they were
Uh-huh.
like commercially popular. But I guess they were.
Yeah.
Is Taylor Swift on that list?
Taylor Swift is number 10.
Wow. Okay. And she's
As
still
much
got
as
plenty
that
to go
bothers
too.
as much as that bothers me, yes.
The British guy, Elton John.
No,
He's not on the list.
not top 10. No.
Springsteen,
Nope.
Billy Joel.
No. Let's see. So you've got two bands that are both from Great Britain or the British. And then you've got one
Oh, Queen.
R&B. Queen is one of them.
Yeah.
One primarily R&B, pretty relevant today. And the other one is a rap artist.
A rap artist is in the top 10.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let me see. Snoop Dogg.
You're missing 7, 8, 9. No, it is not Snoop Dogg.
No, I don't think Dr. Dre was as big. Oh, Eminem.
Yes, Eminem number
Okay.
9.
Is Drake a rapper?
I don't know what Drake is, but I know one thing Drake is not, and that is
He's
on
not
this
on the
list.
Okay.
I thought I was
Pink
going to be real
Floyd.
slick there, and I couldn't spit that out. Pink Floyd is number 8. Yes. All right, one more. Let's say female R&B artist, not named Mariah Carey.
Oh, what's her name?
Just did the Super Bowl like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, and she's got good stuff too. Rihanna.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see that.
There
She
you go.
has like built an entire empire, man.
Yeah, I
Between not
believe
just the
she's
music, she's like a billionaire outside of outside
I was
of
going to say, I
music.
believe she's a billionaire, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's probably the ones I kind of expected, but a little surprised that there was a couple that I mentioned that weren't on the list.
The two that really kind of surprised me because I know they have single albums that are very popular and sold extremely well are AC/DC because their Back in Black album is like the number
Mm.
3 selling album of all time, and they've got a lot of records out there. And the other one is the Eagles because the Eagles' greatest hits album is also up there in sales. It's like I think it's in the top 5 as well, and they're not on this list either. So I guess
Well,
you would call those
can you
one hit
be on that
wonders.
list with one, yeah, say with one album wonders, right? Or one, so I
Yeah,
think you have to have multiple hit records to be on that list.
yeah, for sure.
That's a good list. What's
So
that
there you
from?
go.
Where'd you get that top 10 list from?
I got that off of the internet. I was just thinking about
Oh,
what.
you didn't just dream it up?
No, I no,
Way to
I
be
did not
specific.
dream
The
that up.
internet. It's like I came from somewhere
Yeah,
on
yeah.
planet Earth.
I got it from the interwebs. No, I just it came to my head. I'm like, okay, what can I put together for a top 10? I'm like, oh yeah, all right, something that's a concrete number as opposed to just somebody's. The Forbes list could have been just somebody's opinion, but
Well, yeah, we could
um,
definitely argue over back and forth of like,
yeah, like why Oasis should not even be close on that list, but
because they
um,
suck.
yeah, exactly, but yeah, no, this is just album sales total. So,
Okay. I did pretty well on that
all
one, I
right,
think.
all right, you want another one?
Sure. Is it
Okay.
going to be that easy? You're going to try and stump me?
No, I'm not trying to stump you. This is according to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. What are the top? Give me the top 10 watched TV series of all time.
Breaking Bad.
And I'll admit there are a couple of shows on here that I have never heard of. Breaking Bad is not on here, which shocked me.
So, most watched, not
Yes.
rated.
Not rated, watched.
Of all time.
Yes.
It's going to be harder if it's not rated because there's going to be
Right.
like a lot of bullshit. It'd be like Kardashians and shit like that.
No, no, none of that. None of that.
Are these proper
No,
series?
these are all
This is TV or is
series.
this movies?
These are TV.
Um,
But it includes like the cable shows, like on HBO and stuff like that. So, in fact, I don't think any of these were ever on. In fact, I know, or no, only one, no, two of them were on network television.
I mean, Game of Thrones has to be on there, right?
Yeah, Game of Thrones is number one.
Yeah, I mean that was just such a massive thing. By the way, where are you at with
Right.
Game of Thrones? Because I know you're on a journey.
I'm on episode 8 of season 2.
Okay, what just happened? Because it's been a while.
But again, now let me preface this as we're sidetracking here. So I don't know why went through a bad stretch last week in my Game of Thrones watching. I think I've told you this in the past. We try and watch like 2, maybe 3 episodes in a night, right?
Hmm.
Whatever night
That's a
it
lot
was.
for
And
one night.
I
Yeah,
know, but Michelle's schedule's a little
yeah,
wacky,
I
so
get it.
we try
Yeah,
and,
but
squeeze it all in when we
and I
can.
mean it's not from like a time perspective, but more of like the content. It's very
Yeah,
heavy
yes,
sometimes.
it's a lot to handle. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, there is a lot of times where an episode will end and we'll look at each other like, what the fuck just happened? you know?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So now I don't know why this particular day I was extra tired, and I'll admit my couch has this control over me to where it's like just sucks me in and just causes me to fall asleep. So
I was gonna say like Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
yes,
living inside the sofa.
I went 3 for 3 the other night and fell asleep during episodes 5, 6, and 7.
So you've got to
So
rewatch those.
I need to rewatch all 3 of those episodes or else Michelle's going to leave me in the dust. And I feel like I need to do it tomorrow because she's working tomorrow night and so I'll be home alone
Mhm.
and I need to catch up. So when she either gets home from work early enough or the next time we have some time, which might be Tuesday, I need to be raring to go
You're ready
on
to go.
episode
Yep.
8.
Yep.
Yeah, so I need to get caught up.
Do
But
you
as
like
I've
it?
said before, oh, I love it. I
Okay.
absolutely love it. It's not I didn't fall asleep because I lost interest. I was pissed off. I'm like, God dang it. How did I do this,
No, look, it happens, right? We
And
get tired and we're grown
Yeah,
ass
I
men,
know.
man. Things happen.
I know. So, and I can't stay up till, 1, 2, 3 in the morning like we did back in the day playing games and stuff like that. I just can't do it. So,
Yep.
um,
Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. So yeah.
yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Okay,
But
so
yes,
Game of Thrones
Game
is number one.
Game of Thrones is number 1 on this list. Can you name the other 9?
I mean, Stranger Things. I'm going to start listing off like
Stranger
HBO
Things is
stuff.
number 2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
Stranger
see.
Things is number 2.
That's one I actually. Do you ever see Stranger Things?
I No, I have not.
I watched the first couple seasons. It's good, but I
Okay.
fell off. Like I haven't seen like the last 3 or 4 seasons or whatever it is, but it
Is it
definitely
still
starts out
on
again. It's
now?
kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know if it's done or
I don't even
not.
know either. I don't know either.
I mean, all those kids are old now. One of them is married to Bon Jovi's son. So,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
what is
fell
that?
off.
Anyway.
Yeah, I fell off the wagon on that one a little bit, but I know it's really popular. Still is, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
there's another show that I think came out right around the same time and was after kinda like the same demographic that is number 4 on this list.
I don't. Hmm. Um, The Walking Dead is big.
Walking Dead is number 3 on this list, yes.
It's so good.
So you've got the top
That's
3,
another one
man.
I haven't. That's. Well, I mean, I feel like the top ones are easy because they are. You're talking about popularity. Like the odds
Yeah,
are that people have seen these shows,
right.
and I have seen all 3 of these so far. Now I have not kept up with The Walking Dead. I think I'm a few seasons behind on that one.
Okay.
Um, Trying to think what else would have been popular, like something like Grey's Anatomy,
Grey's
which
Anatomy is
has
number 8 on this show,
okay.
very good. One of the
Um,
2, I believe, main network shows. The other one I think is a WB show, believe it or not, but
well, it's been around forever too, like 20 years or something like that. So,
yeah, exactly.
The Simpsons. I mean, they've been around forever.
No. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if you're gonna get these.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
And the
This one's
sad
tough
thing
because
is,
I'm trying to think of stuff that I watch, but I'm
yeah,
surprised
the
Breaking
sad thing
Bad's
is
not on the list because that's such a massive
I
show.
can't really give you clues because I haven't seen one episode of any of the remaining 6 that are on here.
Okay, well, give them to me because I can't. I mean, I'm thinking of shows that they're probably not like Doctor Who, Star Trek.
No. Okay. So have you heard of the show 13 Reasons Why?
I
It's
think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I think it's more geared towards like teenagers and stuff like that. I
Okay,
don't know.
haven't seen it.
There's a show called The 100.
I've heard of that, but I have not seen it.
Never heard of that. Orange is the New Black.
On a top 10 list?
Yeah, it's number 6.
Okay, well, I've seen a few seasons of that. I don't know if it's
Okay, what
worthy.
is that about? Is it something to do with like isn't it like female prison or something?
Yeah. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a female prison drama and slash comedy and, just
Okay.
kind of stuff like that. It's well acted.
I just know one of the
I don't
girls from
think
that
it's
70 one of the girls from that 70s show is in it. That's all I know.
yeah, Laura Prepon, I think.
Laura Prepon? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Who
think
she
it's
oh, she
top
was dead.
10.
No? Well,
No.
apparently the masses do because they watch the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see,
that's why the Kardashians are so
Riverdale?
popular. Never
Yeah.
seen it.
You ever see Riverdale?
Nope.
I haven't either. The Flash?
I mean, I know what it is, but you're telling me this is a top 10 TV show? Like
What's top 10
popularity, like number of
watch
watchers?
series of all time, man. And then the
Okay.
last one is
Yeah.
called Arrow, and I've never heard of Arrow.
Oh, I've actually seen Arrow. I liked it.
Okay.
It's a DC
Okay.
superhero type of thing. I guess the closest parallel would be to Hawkeye, I guess, from Marvel series. Bow and arrow guy. Obviously, the show's name Arrow. Um,
Okay.
it's fine, but not top 10, man. I mean, there's so much other better shows than that.
Yeah.
Like, uh, I mean, there's so many other things that I would rather watch. Breaking Bad. I mean, The Simpsons. Um,
I've
Friends would be on that
I'm
list.
about
Like
to
Cheers.
I think I'm about to wow you right now.
Okay.
I've never seen an episode of The Simpsons from start to finish, ever.
Really?
Really.
Wow. Hold on. I got something for that.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I'm
How
just
have you
saying.
gotten this far without seeing
Uh,
a full episode of The Simpsons? Like, that's statistically impossible.
I know, because
Even
that
if you only
shows.
watch like a couple seconds at a time, I feel like at your advanced age,
You
that you
think I
would
would
have
have pieced
seen.
I would have pieced one together by now. Yeah,
Right,
no.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's still a relevant
No.
show. They predicted a lot of things. It's kind of one of the running jokes about The Simpsons is that they have gotten a lot of things right in their parody of the world
Yeah,
over the
yeah,
last however many years.
I know they've predicted some stuff, and yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. Um, God, I'm trying to think what my top 10 list would look like.
I think it's one of those things where you're gonna have probably 5 guaranteed, and
Uh-huh.
then
And
another
then
5 that are gonna be, like, rotating in and out because you're gonna discover something, or it's gonna be, "Oh, I really like that now," but then you're gonna look back on it in,
uh-huh.
6 years and be like, this other thing I think I like a little bit better."
That's fair. The
Like, Game of
show okay.
Thrones is definitely up there for me. Black Mirror, if you've ever seen that, I just love those
No.
episodes on Netflix. Oh, they're so trippy, and they're all self-contained. You can just watch one episode. They have no link. Like, it's not a series. It's just a bunch of vignettes, but it's like a commentary on technology and
Mhm.
social constructs and things like that. Breaking Bad, definitely. Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, I thought was fantastic. Um, yeah, I mean, there's stuff like that that I would tell you. I mean, I think Shrinking and Ted Lasso are both amazing on Apple TV. Um, and there'll always be something new. That's the great part. Is new content's always coming through.
See, I love a good sitcom. Just a good half hour, something I can laugh at. I was a huge fan of Cheers.
Hmm.
I loved Frasier, the original Frasier. Um, I liked Friends. I liked Family Ties back in the day. Um, I liked Night Court, if you ever watched that. They're just a dumb half-hour sitcoms that I just King of Queen. Now,
Hmm.
the shows that were on, a little
Yeah.
later, King of Queens. I think,
Popcorn TV is what I call it. Like, they're
yeah,
easy. You can sit down. You don't really have to like think about it. Get a couple
I
laughs, and they're not things that you have to be glued for an hour or two.
yeah, I think
Unlike
Big
Game of
Bang
Thrones.
Theory. Yeah, exactly. I think Big Bang Theory is written unbelievably well.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not alone.
it
So the
is,
fact that it's not in the top 10
yeah,
is crazy.
yeah. I think Sheldon Cooper is one of the most creative characters in the history of television. Unbelievable.
Hmm.
So that I tend to, and Seinfeld's another one. I tend to glam towards that kind of stuff. That I just like to laugh at that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it depends on the mood that I'm in. Like, if I like sci-fi, so I'm gonna gravitate
Sure.
towards that kinda stuff. I like comedy. I like well-acted, well-written things that are clever. So,
Uh huh.
for me, like, that's like comfort TV is like throwing on, like, Saturday Night Live. Doesn't matter what episode it is.
Sure.
It's just, let me throw something on. I don't have to pay attention to it. I can look over, get a couple laughs or kinda remember, fun skits and then move on.
I loved I loved like the cop dramas way back in like I loved when I was younger, I loved Hill Street Blues. I loved
Never watched it.
NYPD Blue. Yeah,
Never got into
NYPD
those.
Blue start to finish was awesome.
Mm.
Shows like that. I still watch Chicago PD, stuff like that. So even though that show's been on for like 10 years and the stories are starting to become like a stretch because I feel like they're running out of stuff, but
Yeah. Hey, how many different permutations on crime can you get
yeah,
to?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I there's a lot of stuff like, the other stuff on the streaming and things like that, like Shrinkage and Severance and Ted
Mhm.
Lasso. I need to kind of branch out, if you will,
Yeah.
and watch some of that stuff. But
There's so much to
yeah,
watch. Have you seen,
oh my god,
Shameless?
yes,
I
I
love
have seen
Shameless. I
Shameless.
think it's so fantastic.
Yeah,
It's well acted.
Shameless has it all, man.
Yeah,
That
yeah, it sure
show.
does.
But again, the acting in that show is really good.
It is.
Um,
Did you see The Bear?
I did not see The Bear. I
The
know
Bear
it's
on
got
Hulu is fantastic. It's
the
amazing.
same dude from what's it, Lip
Yep,
from Shameless is in
yep,
that, and
yep, and he's really good in this one, and so is, the small supporting cast around him is fantastic.
okay,
That's a really good show. Really,
I'll have to
really
check.
good
I
show.
will check that out.
Yeah.
I'll add it to my list. Again,
Add to
I
the
can't do.
rotation.
Yeah, you're right though.
You got a lot to
There's
watch,
stuff
man.
on. I know. I know. Once once baseball season ends, before football season starts, I'll
Mhm.
have to really binge a lot of stuff to, and take advantage of any rainouts that I have to, watch this stuff. So
It's one I missed the boat on when it originally came out, but I just fell in love with it was Suits. Did you ever see Suits?
yes, I
I
started
loved it.
Suits,
Yeah.
and again, I thought it was awesome. So I need to get back into it. I think Joshua started watching it, and I caught it on his TV one night, and I'm like, okay, I need to check this out. And yeah, again, Harvey, awesome.
Yeah. Harvey Specter is just a great character, and that whole dynamic
Yes.
and stuff like that. Obviously, they kind of ran out of steam a little bit towards the end, but I love the dynamic of Harvey Specter. And it's again such a well acted show, and there's a lot of good quotes that come out of it too.
The funny thing about that show is how what's her face? Meghan Markle's in that show, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, she's like the princess of whatever in England
Mhm.
now, and yet she's this, you know,
Yeah.
the
I
total
mean,
opposite of that on this show, if you will.
yeah. I mean, I don't think she was ever a great actor, but whatever.
No, but it's funny that the character she plays versus what she is in real life. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Well, I think that all the royal stuff happened after Suits, if I remember.
It did. It did.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was a nobody,
But
just like you and me.
it's probably why Prince Harry fell in love with her. You know what I mean?
Wow. She's an attractive woman. What can you say?
Yeah,
Did you
no
ever see
doubt.
Westworld?
No.
Oh, that was so good. So trippy, dude. So trippy.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, that's definitely one that has that's another one where you kind of have to watch the episode and then follow along in this world and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that I
Yep.
need to catch up on. I just get caught sometimes watching dumbass reruns of the shows that I always watch, and it's
I do
like,
too. Like I said, I'd throw YouTube on and it goes, not
oh
right
yeah,
now, but on a was it Jay Okerson crowd work?
uh
But
huh,
like you look at my
uh huh,
YouTube, it's like, oh, like just a bunch of clips of him doing crowd work.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I get lost in reels and shorts and
Mhm.
just you go down the rabbit hole, and it's like all of a sudden, holy crap! I've been watching this stuff for an hour and a half. I need to stop.
You are a red-blooded American male. That
That's
is
right.
that is what we do now. If you're an American, you've got a phone, you're probably scrolling on something.
Simple pleasures for such simple minds. But anyway, one thing that I came across the other day on Netflix was a show. It was a three-part documentary called. It was just called "The Dangers of," or no, it was called the Dark Side of what they referred to as kidfluencing. Have you ever heard the term kidfluencer?
This is, I imagine, some sort of influencer that's geared towards a younger audience, like um, Minecraft and Roblox and kind of like teenagers and younger.
So this show was about influencers as young as like 9 and 10 years old who are making up to like $500,000 a month on YouTube
I can see it.
for basically posting or making videos, just useless, mindless, dumb kid stuff, basically putting their entire life on the internet. And these kids have like millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
I
And
was
they're
I was
already made more money than you and I will in our entire lifetime.
I was blown away by this show and how much, because I did kind of say interviewed some of these kids and their moms, and so I learned the term kidfluencer and I learned the term momager, the moms who are the manager.
Momager. Yeah, okay.
Momager. So there's two words for you. Um I was just shocked at the manipulation that these kids go through and how you could just tell how badly scarred they are after they grew up a little bit and don't have the following anymore. And just the behind the scenes uh manipulation, some sexual assault that goes on behind the scenes with these kids because they're just so manipulated and they'll do whatever these adults tell them to do. And I was totally blown away by this. I don't know if you're aware that this goes on, but I was like, "Holy crap."
Yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid. I think. because you read all these articles about, some YouTuber who has like
Mhm.
billions of followers. I'm like, who's following these people? Because I've never heard of them. So it doesn't. I guess it doesn't surprise me, but that's probably I'm not in that world, right? I mean, I'm not
I'm not either.
really following influencers, and I don't let them really influence my life. I don't feel like I'm watching more, I guess, different types of content. But
I'm not yeah, I'm
it's a
not
form of voyeurism, right? If you're putting your entire life online, people
totally.
are going to watch out of morbid curiosity, whatever that happens to be. And
Well,
it's like Big Brother, right? That's a popular show because it's got cameras everywhere,
yeah.
right? The whole hook is like you're watching people at their most vulnerable when they don't think people are being watching. Now it's TV, so I'm sure everybody knows you're going into a house with a bunch of cameras, but it's the same thing.
Well,
It's
I
voyeurism.
guess yeah, and I guess as a let me think about this for a minute. So, as a parent who has now granted I have boys. I mean, and I guess you could say this about boys too, but it was mostly younger girls that do this. Turns out that their primary audience becomes middle-aged men, but that's what generates the views. And I guess as a parent, and these moms are like, yeah, they just the kids they like to make videos and all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking, yeah, but they get fan mail, they get this this random fan mail. I'm like, how can you not know what's
Mhm.
going on? And when you're seeing all this money come in, it's like, where do you draw the line? I mean, these parents are depending on these kids for being the breadwinners and, living the lifestyles that they do. They've got these lavish houses in Hollywood and kind of like actors do, because that's basically what they are as actors. Um, and I just felt like because some of these parents are like, I can't believe what happened to my kid. I can't believe my kid was manipulated. I can't believe my kid was coerced into whatever it was they were coerced into. And I'm thinking, are you a freaking idiot? How did you not know what was going to happen? People profiting off of your kid and people essentially stalking your kid online and all that stuff. And you allow this kind of stuff to happen. Yeah, the money's great, but I know as a parent, I would never trade what came with it for that kind of, even though it's obviously life changing money, but I could never do that.
Well, I think there are obviously a lot of parents that will. they're
Yeah.
they're pimping out their child, for
That's
any
kind
number
of
of
what I
reasons,
thought.
right?
That's kind of what made me, yeah.
I mean, the modern version of this is yes, they're a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber or something like that, right? And they're
Hmm.
kids. But even before that, parents were doing this. It was pageants and commercials, right? And things like that. If
Uh-huh.
if you've got a good-looking kid of some sort and you somehow thought a way to monetize that or it came up,
Hmm.
a lot would. It's pretty rare that people would turn that down. And there's been a
Right.
lot of stories, like of child actors, having difficulties with their parents and the money that comes
Yeah.
in. It's no different really from that mindset, but I think you answered the question when you were thinking, oh, I was like, it's the money. Money, you get enough of it will corrupt anyone and anything.
Yeah. I guess, well, in watching this thing, I learned that I guess Illinois, believe it or not, and I know in our earlier conversation off air, I kind of shit on Illinois a little bit, but Illinois, I guess, was the first state in the union to put laws in place to protect the kids' money from their own parents,
Hmm.
which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't, once again, I didn't think that there needed to be that kind of thing, but apparently there is. So, parents stealing money from kids and,
Sure, it's money.
so quote unquote managing it or whatever. And,
Yeah.
instead of putting it in a trust in the kid's name or whatever, I mean, I guess this is a world that I knew it existed, but I didn't know all that came with it. And I was just like, holy crap, man.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that I mean, I don't have kids, so it's
No,
totally
I
something
know.
that is outside of my own bubble of looking at this, right? But I look at it from a human and a business perspective where there
Uh-huh.
is a product that people want, people will buy it, and there will always be, people who will do bad things, whether that is, on the talent side, right? Stalking or grooming
Mhm.
or any of these other things that, could happen. Or on a financial side, humans are going to human. They're going to covet, they're going to steal, and they're going to, try to do what they can to keep a leg up. And you get into a situation, I'm sure, for some of these folks or their parents, right? It's like, okay, well, their kid, that maybe it is a situation where it is temporary, but they try to make it last longer than it should, or,
Mhm.
whatever may be, right? Maybe it's their 15 minutes of fame is up and they're done, but they try to stretch it longer and longer, and that does damage, obviously, to the child. And you start building out this lifestyle of, you need to be making X number of dollars to support your current lifestyle. You're going to milk that for everything you can. And if you start to
Mhm.
miss bills, right, or fall behind, what are you going to do? Of course, you're
Right.
going to take that money,
Yeah. I was just amazed by it.
which
So, okay,
sucks
that leads
because
me
social media just sucks in
yeah.
general.
Well, I was gonna say that leads me to my next thing with you because I know you used to be not nearly as much as most people, but you were present.
Yeah.
But you've kind of disassociated yourself with social media outside of one platform that you kind of use for work, and you limit it to work, and you say that it's self-policing, which I know a lot of people who use LinkedIn as just their work thing, and I would say 99% of the people that I know on LinkedIn, it is just for work.
Hmm.
I do know one idiot that you and I both know that posts pictures of his dog and all that kind of stuff. And um, I don't know if you're connected to him or not, but to
This
somebody that
is
you
not
and I used
showing
to
up on
work
my
with. And
feed, so you have to tell me offline what that is.
okay,
But
I'll tell you
yes,
offline who it is. But I
LinkedIn
think I've
is
yeah,
professional
it's a work
haven,
thing.
and there are
Yes,
repercussions for putting things on there, and they can be good or bad.
non-work related, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what made you make the decision to basically cut the cord on all social media other than LinkedIn for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know because I've been off of it for at least 5 or 6 years. I can't remember the last time. Now, I'm not posting, so that's my
Right.
cutoff. I still will look occasionally, see what's going on. I think the
Hmm.
intention originally of being able to keep up with friends and family and kind of is great. And there is a lot of benefit to the communities that come along with that. But
Hmm.
it turned into this algorithm of seeing bullshit, basically, whether it's politics or ads or just stuff that I don't care about. I think when they started to mess with timelines is when I was like, yeah, this doesn't interest me anymore. And then
Hmm.
the collection of data that these companies have is staggering on the level of detail that they have on
Hmm.
individuals based on their preferences, their likes, right? This is kind of the old joke is, oh, just thinking about a sofa the other day, and then next thing you know, what's on your Facebook feed? An ad for a
Yeah,
sofa, right?
that happens to me
Well,
all the time.
is the phone listening to me, right? That was the thing
Right.
happening. It's not. There are so many other ways to track your behavior. They have. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here, but they have these invisible pixels that are in emails that are tracking you. You can't see it, but you open the email, it knows you opened it. It knows what you clicked on after that. And then now you've got a cookie
Hmm.
in your browser and it's following you there. And there's all these little tracking things. You go to any website, and if you try to show like the number of ads, right, that are appearing on the website, it's crazy. how many actually
Yeah.
show up? Hundreds to thousands on a individual website that you visit times the number of websites you go to. Now, imagine on social media where you're just constantly clicking through things and you're watching reels and you're watching whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I refuse to call it X, Twitter, right? or
Yeah.
or
Yeah. I
any
do
any of
too.
those things like that, right? TikTok, right, is another one.
Uh-huh.
They all work off an algorithm, and its whole intention is to keep you there and sell you things. That is their business model. You are not paying for it because you are the product. You are the product. Companies pay
Okay.
billions of dollars to these organizations to serve ads, and the more fine tuned that they can get an ad to the demographic that they're looking to sell to, the better.
Hmm.
So Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple to some degree, although I think they have a little bit better track record on the privacy side, but they're still a large company. Twitter, especially, has been kind of bad on this, but Facebook is probably the worst offender that people think about. If you are not paying for the product, you are the product, and you are willingly giving over that information. And there may be cases where you are fine with that. Google Maps is a great example. I love Google Maps. Can you imagine trying to get around
Mhm.
traveling without Google Maps? I mean, when's the last time you went to a
Uh,
AAA and got a triptych? you know,
yeah, I couldn't do it.
or had like maps actually physically in your car, right? We grew up, we had
Yeah,
maps in our glove box. Doesn't exist now.
right.
So I am willing to sacrifice some of my own personal details and privacy because that is a service that I find value of. And I put a level of trust into Google to hopefully keep my data safe. Now, they're like any other company. They're going to get breached, data is going to leak, they're going to sell me ads, and target me and so forth. I get it. But the value they got of Google Maps is outweighs for me
Outweighs that for
those
you.
drawbacks.
Sure.
Facebook's not the same. Originally it was, yeah, let me keep up with friends and family and kind of engage on it, but I don't post on there. I actively avoid anything that is like login with Facebook. I'm so not interested in that as like a social login construct.
Yeah, I don't do
Um,
that either.
now I work in that business, and it's a good thing to have what they call a social provider login, identity providers. It means you have one less account that you need to remember a password for because
Mhm.
nobody likes passwords. and
True.
hopefully, here's my security PSA. Please make sure you have multi-factor authentication turned on for every single account that you care about, whether it's Facebook, Google, your banking stuff. A password alone is not good enough. It will be breached. It is just a matter of time. Password alone is not good enough. Doesn't matter if you use a different password for every single website. Turn on MFA. But going back
Say
to
it again.
this,
Multi-factored
multi-factor
authentication.
authentication. Most services will have an option to turn on. That's the thing where you get like a text message with like a code, right, to log in. It's like you
Uh-huh.
type in your ID and your password, and it's like, oh, we're going to send you a code to make sure it's you.
Oh
Or
yeah,
maybe you
yeah.
have
I have
something on your
that. I
phone.
have that on a
That's
lot of
multi-factor.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
should absolutely have it for your banking, anything with
Yeah, I
finances,
do.
because it is not good out there, kids. it's
Or what
not
is it?
good.
I think there's a thing called the Google Life Authenticator. Is
Google
that one of
Authenticator,
the?
yep, that's another one. It's
Yeah.
a one-time password. It rotates every 30 seconds typically.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. So and all this is good stuff. So the idea of being able to log in with a social account, I use Google a lot. Like Google is my primary authentication
Mhm.
platform, but I have a very strong Google account with multiple forms of multi-factor because so many things are tied to it. I've got to make sure it's secure. But anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know if it was just a conscious decision. I used to post a lot, especially when I was traveling, and like like my calling card was, I left the whatever room I happen to be in what city, and
Yeah.
like, all right, good, see you later. But I haven't done that in, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. I don't remember the last time. I can probably look and see like the last time I posted. And I really don't like it when people tag me and stuff without my permission either. So that's
Okay.
the other thing too. It's like because a lot of this is reputation based as well. And I
Mhm.
want to be in control of that as best as I can. And so that's part of it.
Well, I also know, obviously, your professional life, your reputation's a big deal. So,
Mhm.
well, I mean, in what you do,
Yeah.
not trying to,
Oh, I mean, this
blow
is
smoke
all
up your
you have
rear
in
on this,
life
but
is your reputation.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
somebody,
no, I agree.
I'm glad there was no social media growing up because I would have been canceled a long time ago. We all say and do stupid shit. And I don't know how kids get away with it these days with just being human and,
Yeah.
not being able to grow up without having a camera, a microphone, or something recording them 24/7.
Well, that's the other thing, man. It's like you always got to be aware because somebody's got an every my kids when they were in high school used to come home. Hey, you should check out this fight that happened at school today. The fight in the cafeteria. Oh, was it a bad one? Here, watch it.
Mhm.
It's all over. It's all over everybody's. What is it? What is it? Snapchat or Instagram or
It's
all that stuff.
Snapchat or TikTok or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. I'll admit, I have a Facebook. I probably read on it more than I post. As lately, I'll post about this podcast, and that's about it.
Mhm.
Um, I don't
And I'm
know
not
how many
poo-pooing it, by the
people.
way. I think there
Oh
is
no, no, no! I
value
know,
in
I
it. I
know
think you just need to be aware of
of what
the
comes
echo
with it.
chamber that you get into it. Yeah, and the data that's get
Yeah,
collected, and go into your settings and make sure you're fine with what they're collecting on you because it's a lot.
Yeah. I I use Facebook and Instagram to get the word out about our podcast.
Mhm.
Um,
We have a
Twitter,
podcast.
yeah, right.
I'm looking by the way, and it looks
Twitter,
like the last time I posted was in March of 2020.
okay.
That's the last
Oh, so
time
right,
I posted anything.
right about pandemic time. Okay,
Right around that time, which would
right at the
make
beginning of
sense
pandemic.
because, yeah,
Sure,
I think I shut things down at that point and was like, "All right, I'm done."
sure. Let's see. I use Twitter to basically argue back and forth about our beloved White Sox. I'll admit I have like 1,300 some followers on Twitter based on the fact that I'm a Sox fan. And I talk a lot on Twitter about the Sox and how bad they are and,
Mhm,
all that kind of thing. Um, I have a TikTok that I never use. I don't really know how to use it. Sounds like I don't really need to. I would only do it. No, the only thing I would honestly use it for again is this podcast, and that's it.
mhm.
I don't do Snapchat. I don't know. Snapchat's more of a it's kind of a social media, but it's just a way to
Yeah,
communicate. I'm not a
it's
big.
another
I
way.
never
Yeah,
figured out how to use it.
it's another
Yeah.
network that you build out, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I missed the
Like
Snapchat thing.
you,
It's text messaging pretty much is it.
yeah, like you, I put my Facebook together initially to keep in touch with friends and family. And then I noticed that the friends and family thing really never kicked off, if you will. It's nice to hear from some people. It's nice to see what some people are up to, but it's kind of like,
Well, what's interesting is what people post, and it realizes the kind of people that might be in your network. It's like, we are clearly not of
yeah,
the same mind anymore, and thank you for letting me know.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, maybe I'll just take that down, that kind of thing. It's like, well,
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's like anything else. You got to be careful. It's not once it's on the internet, it's gone. It's not going back in the, not going in the bottle.
right. Yeah. And I guess I've noticed more and more negative on social media than positive within the past couple of years. I think
I
people
think
tend to go
that's
to
the
social
algorithm. Yeah.
yeah, and I think people tend to go to social media to air their grievances, air their problems, air their disagreements with others, and see how many people you can get to agree with you.
Yeah.
And and I don't think that's the intention of it, but that's the byproduct of it. And unfortunately, I think that byproduct is taking over as mainstream, and that's
Well, I don't.
disappointing.
So I'm going to disagree. I think it is the intention.
Okay,
Their
really?
entire
Okay.
business is to keep you on their website.
It's keeping engaged, and
Yep.
maybe disagreeing
Yeah.
gets maybe that's what gets you there.
Shit
Maybe
posting and trolling are very powerful. And if you start
yeah.
getting into an echo chamber of, you see your feed of either all pro left or pro right articles,
Mhm.
what are you going to end up going into? Is you're going to start to see that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely designed for that, is to keep you there because they want to keep your eyes glued on the website because every time you
Mhm.
scroll, every couple posts, it's an ad. It's an impression.
It
That's how they
is.
track it. And so
It is.
if I
I
can
get
get,
I always get
yeah, if I can get an impression,
yeah.
that's how the marketer is going to do it, and that's how they're
Like I
going
get
to
what's
keep track
called
of it.
a sponsored
Yeah,
post,
and it
which
looks
yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
like a real post, but it's not.
Right.
And and there's a lot of fake bullshit, and there's a lot of good bullshit. There's not good bullshit. There's a lot of good stuff too, right? There's groups with similar interests. There's a Polestar group
Yeah,
that I'm
no, for
looking at right
sure.
now. That guess what? They have the same problems I do. I'm not alone, right? I don't
Yeah,
post, but it's like okay, I see that now. What shows up in my ad feed? Polestar 3 commercials.
sure.
And I think I've
Because
told
they
you before, like
know
it takes every fiber of my being to not post what a shitty product they have. But I refuse to do
yeah,
it
but
because I'm not
once
going to
they
post.
do, then you're
Yep.
gonna get hammered. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I'll be a troll or, oh, I'm spreading misinformation, whatever. I'm not spreading. Look, this is my point of view. This is my experience with it. I'm not
Mhm.
saying I'm right or wrong. This is just what I've had. But I refuse to engage on that platform.
Okay.
Maybe there'll come a time where I'll say, okay, we're back on it or whatever. But yeah, the only one I do is LinkedIn. And I feel like that one is a little more self policing because there are actually real life ramifications because now it's tied to people's jobs.
Yeah,
And for the most part, I think most of my feed in LinkedIn is good. It's legitimate, it's work based, it's
Mine
it is
too.
extremely rare that I see anything like political or personal. Now they've added this
Uh-huh.
stupid video thing to it, which they're trying to get into the short form video, just like YouTube, just like TikTok, just
Again,
like Reels, right?
reels,
All that stuff. Yeah.
shorts, yes.
But for the most part, my feed is fine. And I feel like because there are professional ramifications to what people post, that is a
Mhm.
very powerful incentive to think about what you're posting before you put it out there. Now,
Yeah.
there's still bullshit out there. Again, it gets political, left, right, doesn't matter. And you start to see all the people who start to post on it. And depending on how you think about things, you're like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to do business with that person anymore.
Right.
That's financial.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful how you represent yourself and expose yourself, kind of on every social media
Yeah.
platform, but
Your
especially
reputation is
that
really
one.
the only thing you have.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that.
I
No,
mean, it
it's
doesn't
interesting
matter
because I
who
know
you are. Be the person that you want to be friends with or do business with. This is not rocket science.
right, well, you would
But
you would think.
yeah, people can't control their urges and they post one way or another
Yeah.
or do something stupid. They post a picture that they think is funny and it's not funny, or a
Well, and
video that they think is funny and it's not funny.
even sometimes putting out your personal opinion on certain things, it's like
Mhm. And that's fine. You can
y
have an opinion.
you can have it, but you gotta be ready for when somebody doesn't necessarily agree with you
Yeah, there
because
are repercussions to whatever you put out
yeah,
there. It's no different than this
so
podcast, right? People are going to hear us and
100
think Jeff's a crackpot, you know, woke liberal, whatever, which is really not the truth at all. But they're going to hear
No,
that,
it's not
right?
the truth.
But
I will be the first to vouch for you on that one that to
I
say,
think I'm
"No, you're not
pretty
some."
center. I think I'm pretty balanced, but I do have
Yeah.
opinions. I cannot
Yeah, and
like
that's
things
and that's
from either
fair.
side. I'm an equal opportunity hater. How about that? But yeah,
And
there are
and E
repercussions, and that's fine, right? There should
and
be. If you say
EOH.
something stupid, this is what culture does, is they tell you,
Yes.
one way or another that we don't approve of that behavior, just like your parents used to do it,
Yeah.
or
That's
your
interesting.
friends or family
I
or
just want to
whatever.
get your yeah, I just want to get your take on it because I know you work in the industry. I was interested to know that we've always known you as a big computer guy, yet the biggest computer application that's out there is something you don't use. And I just find it
I
interesting.
use it. I don't engage with it at a posting
That's
level.
what I mean. You
That's
don't
yeah,
use it as it's intended necessarily. Because
yeah.
I
I mean,
think you
look, I
or
think
you're
it's a
not
great service when it's at its most pure. Problem is,
yes.
it's become less pure over time.
Oh, it's become a stinker over time, man.
But you know what? People engage with it. It's still super popular and it's
They
spun off
do.
into so many other things. And, they're making a ton of money on it. And hey, good for them. I guess the American dream. But just realize the data that you're giving them. And I
Yeah.
think somewhere in the settings is a way that you can see like what they know about you. And it's pretty weird. Like
I'll
the
I'll
level of
have
detail that you can get into. I have to
I'll
try and
I'll
find
have
it.
yeah, if you ever find that, let's go through that because that might be educational for a lot of people, but, um, it's almost and I can feel it. Look, I don't drink alcohol very often. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't no, I don't have things that are addicting. But yeah, there are
Just
sometimes
baseball.
I'll go to yeah, yeah, exactly. But and I'm totally guilty of this. I'll go to my phone and be like, "All right, what did I miss?" And you'll just
Mhm.
scroll, 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 scroll,
Yeah,
and
we all do
then
it.
okay, I'll move on. And then a couple hours later, geez, what could have happened then? What did I miss?
Well,
And
that's the thing is it's no
it
longer the news isn't just on at 5, 6, and 10. The
no,
news
it's
is
24
24/7.
7,
Yeah.
and it's like it's almost that becomes the addiction for some people. You
Yep.
know, so
And I'm the same way. I mean, we're all glued to our phones and it's
yeah,
constant information coming left, right, center. And so, yeah, I get it. Um, I'll have to look it up. I know there's a way to see it, but it is interesting to see like um, what it thinks about you and the things that it thinks you might be interested in,
uh-huh.
just based on what data has been collected about you, not only on the social media website. And I'm picking on Facebook, but they're not the only one. Every
Oh, for sure.
company does this.
Yeah.
um,
I every once in a great while I will pull out the movie Social Network and watch it and how
it's a great
Facebook was
movie.
created.
Yeah.
It is. And it's hard to believe what that has grown into that was just created in a dorm room at Harvard. I mean, the fact it was created at Harvard made sense, but just in a dorm room by, a couple of guys and just, you know, because he was I don't know if this part's true, but just because he was pissed off at his girlfriend for breaking up with him or whatever, and it
Yeah.
just spawned this whole thing, you know,
Yep.
pretty wild.
It's yeah. I mean, like I said, I was probably one of the first in our group to get on it because I've always been like an early adopter. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, before this it was MySpace, which I never really got too much into, but
I didn't
Facebook was
either.
kind of like the original one, and then yeah, it was a bunch of stuff.
Facebook, I think I was a little late to it. I mean, I was always late to stuff. I never owned a pager. I was late on the iPhone. I was late on texting people. I just never did it until it's like, okay, you got to get on it or you're going to be left behind type thing. And I got on Facebook a little bit late, and early on I posted all the time, but now again, it's this podcast and that's really it.
So
And maybe a
I found where to
maybe a
go.
major life milestone. Okay. Oh, all right.
All
So
right,
should I here? I'll
yeah, go
actively
ahead.
do it. Here, I'll
Okay,
I'll be the guinea pig. How about that? We got time, right?
so yeah, if you go to Facebook, you go to your settings, but if you just type accounts center, so like plural of accounts center
So
dot
if I go to my
Facebook.
setting,
Just type this into the URL. This should take you right to it. accountscenter.facebook.com/ads.
okay, account center, because I only type with one thumb
And if you're
because I'm
doing this on
old.
your phone, it might be a little bit different. I'm doing this on a PC website. So
All right, I'm doing it on my phone. Account center
facebook.com/ads.
.com slash ads. Okay, go. Let's see how long it takes to get there.
And essentially, you get this, you go to like your settings, and then you're basically looking for your ad preferences.
Ah, this is interesting. In Safari, it says it can't be found. The server can't be found. Let me try it again.
Okay. You might have to type https://accounts, ACCOUNTS center.
Maybe if I do it. Okay, accounts.
Here, you know what? I can text you, and then you should be able to just click on it.
Okay, yeah, maybe do that.
All right. So people following along at
Thumb.
home,
I'm old
basically in
and
there, and
I type with my right thumb, and that is it. That is all I do.
all right. Well, I texted you
I
the
can
link.
I cannot do both thumbs. All right, let's see. I hit the link. Okay. It says ad preferences, take control of your ad experience. What is
Okay.
that?
So you should see a
Okay.
couple columns like customize ads, manage info.
Yes.
If you go to
Yes.
manage info, you should see a
Okay.
couple sections: information used to show you ads,
Yes, I see
and
that
a
right
couple
now.
things like categories used to reach you. Like that's one that you would want to
Yes.
click into. Now I have all mine turned off. So I have all this stuff disabled on my Facebook account.
I didn't even know this existed.
A lot of people don't.
Okay, hold on. Let me write this down again. So it's accounts. So I know how to get here. Oh, you know what? Screw it. You texted me the link, so I'll always have it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the one
Okay,
that's interesting
so
is if you go to either categories used to reach you under
I'm gonna go to
manage
that one.
info. And for me, it doesn't show anything because I don't allow them to use employer, job title, education, relationship status, none of that stuff. And then at the bottom
Okay,
of
so
that page, you can view and manage the categories associated with you. And you should see a list of things that it thinks are categories that are associated with you.
let's go back a little bit. So mine says choose profile information. My employer's list used. Job
Hmm.
title used.
Hmm.
Education used. Relationship status used. Okay. So if I go to
So
view and
Facebook is
managed,
so what that means is Facebook is using those attributes about you to target you for advertising. It's going to say, "Hey, here's Jay and here's who he works for. Other people who have the same employer seem to be interested in these things." Or same thing with job title or education or other people who are married or single or divorced or whatever. It's using those bits about you to target you.
uh, okay, so I clicked on view and manage,
Hmm.
and that takes me to a thing with the heading of categories associated with you.
Okay.
And I scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And I'm not going to read them all because it seems like there's a lot, but there's birthday in November, people with a birthday in November because my birthday's in November. There are things like Facebook page admins, people who are an admin of at least one page. Friends of men with a birthday in 0 to 7 days. Friends of men with a birthday in 7 to 30 days. So, friends of recently moved, people who have moved in 30 days, friends of soccer fans. So, there are just various categories in here
Hmm.
that just have stuff. So,
It's
because I
mind
am
blowing, isn't it?
yeah, so okay, so if I hit remove on one of these, what happens?
It will remove it from that list,
Okay.
and you'd have to remove every single one. So for me, as I look at that page, I have no categories to show because there are
So
no
if I,
categories associated with my Facebook account.
so if I remove all these, what will happen?
Basically, you'll probably see different ads. You'll see different
Uh-huh.
suggested posts. So your
Uh-huh.
Facebook feed is an algorithm that's using this data to show you things. And so you're probably gonna see things like, hey, you've got somebody moving, send them a gift, or someone's birthday
Uh-huh.
coming up. Hey, here's a gift that will reach them in time. Or if you have something for sports, hey, show me a bunch of White Sox stuff. Right.
Right.
So all those little bits of data, that metadata around Jason, those are
Uh-huh.
all things that advertisers and Facebook and other services can use to target you and say, here's what I want to put in front of Jason's eyeballs. Could be an ad, could be a post, doesn't matter. It's
What's it going to take to get Jason to engage? What keeps Jason engaged in this
exactly,
platform?
here's what we know about
Basically.
Jason. And then, as you can see, it's an awful lot.
Yeah. So if I remove all of this,
Mhm.
that basically makes me a blank slate,
A little
kind
bit,
of.
yeah. It won't. It's not perfect, but as you
Right.
start to remove things, yes, it will. You should start to see your feed. Now, if you click on a link or an article, it's going to add it back in because you clicked on it.
That's what, yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is all based on something I have clicked at some point in my
Yep.
Facebook experience.
Yep.
Wow.
And so you go through each of your settings in that page, and you should be able to see the things that Facebook and its advertisers know about you. Another one will
Uh-huh.
be like audience-based advertising. Like, here are the things that you seem to click on and are interested in.
That is wild, man.
Mhm. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then you got, okay, because you got activity information from ad partners. You got audience-based advertising, like you just said.
Yeah. So if
And
you
you
click on
continue to
audience-based advertising, you should see a list of products that probably show up in your feed more often than not from a commercial standpoint, or from like a group basis, right? It could be Facebook groups, it could be a post, it could be an ad, whatever it may be.
yeah,
And you'll probably see
advertisers.
hundreds of products that are in that list.
Home Depot, Planet Fitness, Rapsodo,
Polestar's on
which is
mine.
a,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
Rapsodo's
you
a
can go through each
got a
one
lot of,
and you can, delete it.
oh my
But you
God.
can also click on each one and see how they got to you. And somewhere you appeared on a list that said, oh, this is the type of people I'm looking for. And you
This
can
is
choose
incredible,
yourself to
dude.
not be. Yeah.
There
So yeah,
there
there's
are
a lot, man.
probably there are hundreds of things in here.
Yeah.
But again,
And
if I clean all this up, then I turn into, like, again, a closer to a blank slate
not,
of,
I mean, not necessarily. You'll still have
or,
your friends
or
and, your connections, stuff like
yeah,
that.
but
And you
I'm
will
saying
still
it
see
would,
stuff. But yeah, what it does
it's kind of
is
like,
it not eliminates, it reduces what other people know about you from a advertising perspective and from a Facebook standpoint. Like, you've
Jeff, this
already
is
clicked on it.
awesome.
You've clicked on it. That
Yeah.
horse has left the barn, as they like to say. The only thing you can control is from now forward.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's a lot
So
of stuff in there.
I feel like this is like cleaning the basement of your house.
Oh, dude, it takes
You know what I mean?
forever. And so
I bet
what
it
I
does.
do personally is I turn off everything. Do not use any of my information to target me or anything.
I'm
It's
gonna do
not
that.
foolproof, and it won't solve all of, Earth's problems.
No, but I could
But
tell
I
this'll,
also don't want to give Facebook and its partners all this information about me.
yeah, this'll take away a bunch of the bullshit that pops up in my feed.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, this is only what you can control.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sure there are things behind the scenes that Facebook does not give you the ability to control.
So accounts, what do you call it again?
Accounts center.facebook.com/ads. But basically, if you just go to the Facebook website or go to your settings,
Uh-huh.
and if you go to settings and then settings again, somewhere on the left under privacy, you should see a small link for ad preferences. It's small. It's much smaller text than the other things in that list.
Well, hey, as the Fresh Prince once said to all you people across the land, take it from Jeff. Facebook don't understand
Yeah.
or
See, there you go.
whatever. So yeah, there you go. I
Yeah,
tried, but
I tried. It
yeah,
was a good it was
that's
a good leap. But yeah, there's a lot there.
yeah,
It's interesting to see what people, it can be fascinating. It's like, oh, okay, man. I clicked on that 10 years ago, and yet I'm still on that list. And here's why I'm getting, you know,
yeah,
this
I'm
is what I
yeah,
say.
I'm
Why do I keep
gonna
seeing the same ad over and over again? It's like, oh, because I'm on this list.
yeah, I'm gonna kind of dive into that a little bit, and it'll take a long time to
Now it's
clean
not
up,
all
but
bad, right? If you do
yeah,
click on a link and it's something you're interested in, that's fine, right? It's just be aware of what's being tracked, and are you okay with that?
I just this allows me, like you said, to have a little bit of control.
Yeah, a little bit.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
So
and that's fine, right? I mean, the whole point of targeted advertising is to find people with similar interests, right? So, I'm into
uh-huh.
technology, so I see a ton of commercials for tech, right, or
Sure.
games, or music, or movies, or whatever. And again, I'm somewhat okay with it because if it's relevant, I'm less pissed off than like, why are you sending me a thing for, children's clothes? I don't have children. Like,
Yeah,
get this out of
yeah.
here, right? Like, so there is a little bit of a benefit to it if you like to think about that perspective. But
Uh-huh.
again, just be aware. Like, you are the product when it comes to Facebook or any social media. If you're not paying for it, you are the product.
Well, okay, here, for example, I'll just do one example because I know we're an hour and 45 into this
Yep.
podcast here, but um I clicked in there and the thing that when I started scrolling, I felt like it had every single Planet Fitness location in it could be the country. I don't know. All because I interacted, I think, with Planet Fitness in Arizona once because we went there one time when we were in Arizona because Michelle's a membership. I had to get their app to add me as a guest. And for some reason, somehow it threw me into there. And now here I am,
There you are.
targeted. Wow.
So,
Well, there you go,
be
kids.
aware. That's pretty much all you can really do.
What do they say? Beware and be aware.
Yep. Beware and be aware. It's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, clean up your Facebook. It knows an awful
I
lot
will.
about you,
I
and
will.
it might not all be good, depending on your
No.
browser and click history.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Yep.
Who knows what I've clicked on over the years, but anyhow.
Hey, we're all human,
So
right? Click on something. Oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
So, all right,
Yeah.
an hour
So
48. Some of us have to work in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of those as well. So
Yep.
next week, what do you got going on? I will be in Minnesota through Sunday night. So if we're recording, I gotta do Monday.
That should work.
Because I know you're off to Europe here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think let's plan for let's catch up early next week. We'll text and figure it out. But yeah, let's figure
Okay.
Monday night or something like that.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and then probably take a couple weeks off because, like I said, I'll be in Berlin and Amsterdam, and then I come home, and then I turn around and fly back to New York City for a couple
Okay.
days, and then I think I go to Vegas when I get back from that. So be kind of a
Nice.
weird month here or so, but we'll try to figure out something.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can recap the draft, but next time we talk and then
Yep.
have a few weeks to absorb it all and we'll have a better idea of if the Cubs are for real and we already know the Sox are not for real, so, we'll have
Yeah,
a
man.
better
I get
idea and
get frickin' zooted in Amsterdam, baby.
yeah, I cannot wait to hear about Jeff's adventures. You're taking your wife, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to Berlin for a conference, and she's going to meet me there towards the end of the week of that that first week I'm in Berlin. We'll spend a couple days in Berlin together, and then we're going to take a train from Berlin to Amsterdam, and then we'll use
Nice.
Amsterdam as a base for about a week or so, and then probably take a day trip somewhere. I think right now we're thinking like Bruges or something like that.
Well, I
Um,
can't wait to hear about Barb and Jeff's excellent adventure. It's gonna be awesome.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be cool.
Cool. All
All
right,
right, man.
man.
It's good talking to you. I will
Always,
talk to you in a few
always a
days.
pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
See ya.
See ya.